Homelessness 2.0, day 19. Told you I'm not going to edit this stuff. It's all one shot, one kill. I believe that's the ghost from StarCraft, maybe StarCraft 2? Can't remember. I think it's StarCraft, the first one, not 2. But anyway, got me a salad in there, some red bell pepper, a whole red bell pepper, a whole yellow bell pepper, a big ass handful of spinach, some bacon I cooked last night, put it in the fridge, and then 2 whole hard-boiled eggs. And then, throw in some olive oil to help kind of lubricate it and get things moving around, and then some salt and pepper to taste. Kosher salt, freshly ground black pepper, because I've been, watching all kinds of cooking shows, and those 2 things are heavily suggested. The freshly ground black pepper tastes better. Tastes fresher. There's a little bit more heat to it. There's a little bit more body to it. The kosher salt is interesting because it's not iodized, so you don't get that iodine. And the reason why you're getting iodine is because there's, certain issues with the body. You can start getting, what was it? Was it goiters? I can't remember what it was. But there's actually a really good Adam Ragusa video that I'll pin that talks about this very thing. And how it's actually kind of coming back. These, and I believe it's an immune system thing. I think maybe endocrine, actually. Anyway, but the reason for kosher salt, the reason why everybody mentions kosher salt is because, and he even has yet another video about this, and I think it might be the same video, in fact, where kosher salt is bigger and coarser than your typical table salt. And so it's easier to pinch and get a feel and then see the amount of seasoning you're adding to your food. And I never understood why until he actually broke that down. And I think even Babish did, and possibly some others did too. And when I started using it, I was like, oh, okay, I see the value in this. I've got a turkey leg that I'm going to season, or a thigh that I found at the store. Yes, it's turkey thigh, baby. Because they're flatter and wider than the legs, and so you kind of just cook them like a turkey. Because they're part of one, and instead of having to worry about all the extra, cooking time and stuff, whatever, for a whole ass turkey, you get a turkey leg. Now, there could be some prep that I could do for it. I could wait until tomorrow and then, do some previous day prep. I could throw some compound butter under its skin. I could dry brine it in the fridge, blah, blah, blah. And I might do that. I probably will, now that I think about it. But whatever, we'll see. And I also just finished, so I replaced the screen protector on my phone. It was a little easier than I expected, but also more of an annoyance than I expected. Well, I kind of expected, because when I first put the screen protector on, the Pixel 4a, by the way, the screen that it comes with is stupid slippery. Like, it is the slipperiest thing I think I've ever handled. And, okay, maybe that's a bit of hyperbole, but for a piece of hardware that was like $400, maybe don't make it so goddamn slippery. I don't want it slipping out of my hand. And sure, it's just the screen, but still, like, wow, is it slippery. It's like they said, hey, we're going to take Teflon and we're going to bump it up a notch and make it even slipperier. It's like, fuck, man. And, I get it. Sort of, maybe. You don't necessarily want your finger to get stuck to the phone, but, like, you want some friction. You want some traction. So I got that taken care of. And then on top of that, just now before I started recording, I set up the appointment for driving school. That's also another thing I wanted to talk about, now that I think about it. There is a reason why I am a cat person and not a dog person. I don't hate dogs. However, I'm not fond of dogs. You know, it's like kids. Kids and dogs are really similar, in my opinion. A lot of people will be like, that's just wrong, blah, 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 yeah. And then, you can start trying to come up with all these comparisons when people are talking about, oh, I have a fur baby. And then people get shitty on them. It's like, fuck you. Who cares what you think? Let the person have their fur baby. It doesn't matter if you don't think kids and dogs are the same, that somehow kids are better. Dogs are better than kids in a lot of ways. They have fewer needs. They're less likely to be a pain in the ass. That's not to say that they won't be, but they're less likely to be a pain in the ass. There's going to be a bias. I can't convince anybody of otherwise. It's not a possibility. If you think children are better, there's no convincing you. If you think children are worse, there's no convincing you. The reason why I say they are similar, they're not equitable, but they're similar enough. And one thing is that they are unhinged balls of chaos. As a person who constantly lives in a form of chaos in their own head, that's not something I like to deal with on the external. Like, cats, for me, they are a source of calm, orderliness. Yeah, they got their own little chaos, but at the same time, they're smaller. They're lighter weight. They're fluffier most of the time. They are, for all intents and purposes, less dense. Like, the dog that lives out here, right? Met her a couple times, pet her, I don't like the whole face licking thing. I'm not fond of that. One of the first nights I was out here, as I was going out to the store, I don't remember exactly when I was going. It was a late night trip. She ran into me. And I still feel the spot where she collided with me. This is not a large dog. This is a smaller dog. It's a medium dog, because we're not talking, Jack Russell or Chihuahua type size. But we're not talking even collies or German Shepherd dogs. This is a medium small dog. I don't even know what kind of dog it is. It looks kind of mutt-ish. Maybe if you mixed a Doberman and a great German Shepherd. I'm not sure. But loud, powerful, fast, ran right into my leg, almost knocked me down. Not a life I want. I don't want that life. And as such, I do not want dogs in general. Now you might say, well, just get a smaller dog. But the thing is they're all the same in certain other ways. They are abrupt and noisy. They make loud and abrupt sounds. I didn't truly realize what the issue was in the previous video about kids. But children also make loud, abrupt sounds. And I don't mean one or the other. These things are equivalent. These are two descriptions for one event. The sound that comes out of them is both loud and abrupt at the same time. It happens rapidly, and it happens loudly. Just like a snap, but not nearly as shitty as that. Those cause me anxiety. Probably due to PTSD. Probably due to living with my sister when she was a baby. An infant just beyond newborn. One might even say, well, why can't you just get over it? I don't fucking know. Sorry. It's called PTSD. It's a disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Or post-traumatic stress disorder, however you want to phrase it. And then through this therapist, I have been diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder because of the environment I grew up with, the abusive parents and the neglectful parents. And so many people with PTSD of any kind often do not like loud, abrupt sounds. I need calm in my life. I don't mind the city to a degree. There's one reason why I don't like the horns, because of the loud abruptness. There's aspects to the cities that I like. There's aspects to the cities that I don't like. I'm willing, but because I'm also in the area, I'm around cars, I'm prepared, both because I kind of have a desire to be there, but also because I have a need to be. But there's a few choices in my life that I can make where I don't have to have them in my life. I don't have to have kids. I don't have to have dogs. I don't have to have cats. But I want cats. I want a person who is almost insultingly calm. Like, when you're around them, you're like, why is this person so goddamn calm all the time? How are they able to do this shit? You want to feel this weird, exaggerated jealousy of this person. Because they have, or maybe it's envy, whatever. They have something that you kind of want and you can't have, and it would probably make your life better, and they have it in spades, and it pisses you off. It's kind of like when you watch somebody who's like, and now not everybody has the same reaction, but it's kind of like when you watch somebody who's like super talented. You're like, fuck, man, why the hell you gotta be so goddamn talented? Fuck, you know? And maybe you don't. Maybe you're not that kind of person. And in fact, maybe you're the kind of person who looks at that and sees inspiration, and you don't feel that kind of response. And maybe you're the kind of person I'm looking for. I don't know. I need somebody who, through their presence, and of course, I mean, this isn't me trying to force anything on anybody and saying, you know, but like through who they are as a person, they are a source of calm. I'm not trying to put responsibility upon them. Of course, it's still my responsibility to try to make efforts. But if there's a person out there who I can be around, who loves me, who has that aura of calm, it'll make it less difficult. It'll heal, probably, a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. So, yeah, diatribe over. Got a couple things done. Although, it says on my application that my address is where my mailbox is, and it's not my physical address to be picked up. So I'll probably have to contact school anyway just to make sure. So there's that. And we're encroaching on the final week. So I've got to figure out, once I get information from the school about when the actual driving appointment will occur, then I can determine. I'm probably going to have to stay here another week, another month anyway. But we'll see. Because once I get that done, I get an assessment from them, can determine whether or not I need to do the driving test, which will probably happen next week anyway. Well, the caveat is, of course, if things happen rapidly. That says on their website that holidays and stuff tend to be booked around those times. So I don't know. And since next week is Thanksgiving, probably not a good time to be driving anyway, especially out here. There's so many goddamn cars. The day of Thanksgiving is perfect. And same with like Christmas. Well, maybe not so much. Okay, Thanksgiving out here, not so much. Thanksgiving is a very busy day out here. Christmas is dead. Like, it's so strange the difference between the two of them. But, so the idea is, wait till they get back to me to determine and to know when the driving test happens. Or the driving, not test, but course. The driving class. Then they can determine, and, I'm going to be real upfront with them that I'm not going to want to pay more than I absolutely need. But, because they have, like, if you want to, obviously if you want to get your own license and you're younger, you need to drive at night, and it's like 10 hours or something like that. And so that's probably a necessity as well. But anyway, determine when it's happening, have it happen, determine if I need additional classes. If those are necessary, take those. Then schedule the appointment for the actual legitimate driving test. Take care of that. And then, once that has happened, then see about trying to get a car. Because there's no point in trying to buy a car if you can't drive it. And I will probably go to a police auction. Because, at the very least, you kind of have an idea of what's there and all sorts of other stuff. So, that's the haps. And this has gone on too long. Have fun.